Hello everyone. In today's session, we are going to learn how we can enable the auditing in ServiceNow tables and fields. So, in today's session, we are going to understand the overview of auditing in ServiceNow, what all key points we need to remember, as well as we will also understand in what cases the auditing does not work, and then we will go to the ServiceNow table. So let's start with our overview. So the purpose of the auditing is to track any changes happening to the record. So it can be for creation, update, deletion. And the benefit what we are going to get, like in case we are going to have any changes in the record, those can be captured very quickly, and we can see the timeline as well as the changes along with the old values. So it usually facilitates in the troubleshooting in case we are trying to see who made the changes, when exactly the changes happened, what was the old value, what is the new value. But we also need to remember few points that is very important. By default, the system tracks the changes for the incident, change, problem records and few more things. But system does not track the changes for the tables which does have a very high traffic, because if we enable it on the tables which have a high traffic, it can impact the performance. So it's always advisable to enable the auditing only for the few fields if necessary, rather than we enable the auditing for complete table. For system tables, if you want to track the deletion of the record, then we have a property in system that we need to have a look, and we need to update the system tables in that particular property. So this is only specific to the system tables, and system tables can be identified as prefix of sys underscore. So we will also show in our demo how the property can be updated with any of the new system table. Moving further for a few more key points where we should know what all tables and conditions or use cases where the auditing is exempted. So when any upgrade is happened for ServiceNow, that particular point of time, in case there are any changes, those are excluded from the auditing. If we import the data from the import sets, that is also exempted from the auditing. In case we have a parent as well as the child, and if we enable the auditing on the parent, it does not automatically inherit the auditing to the child tables. So we need to ensure if we want to enable it for the child, we need to do it explicitly. We have one attribute field, no underscore audit. So in case we want any specific field not to be audited, then we can only add this no underscore audit attribute, and that field will be excluded from the auditing. As discussed, system tables are not listed for the deletion perspective. So if you want to include for the auditing purpose, we need to include in this particular property. UI pages can sometimes trigger the update to the record, but sometimes it does not log into the audits. Inactivity monitor. So inactivities monitor is something when a record is not updated for a certain period. This inactivity monitor triggers automatically. Okay, so such records of inactivity monitor related changes are not updated, because it will be a kind of noise to the system. Then any manual changes to the performance analytics scores, those are also not edited. Last and not the least, any encrypted field in the system, that is also not audited. So now let's move to the ServiceNow and let's have a look on the use case. So first use case is we will turn on the audit table and we'll see what all records or field changes are audited. So I hope you can see the instance. So let's first enable the auditing for a table. So we need to go to sys underscore dictionary. Okay, once it is loaded, we can do the auditing test on this particular table. CMDB CI data center. So we need to find a record type as in collection. So this particular collection entry is actually the table entry. So here you can see I have added the audit field as well as I have added the attribute. So if we need to enable the auditing on this complete table, then this collection type record attribute audit field can be marked as true. So I am making as true. And now let's have a look on any of the record of this particular table. Okay, we can go to all and then I can type the table name dot list. I can see 2 records here. Let's go to one of the record. Okay, now let's have a look before we make any change. So to check any changes, what we need to do, we need to right click on the header or click on these 3 lines where you can go to history and you can check the calendar as well as list. So first let's check the list view. If you see the list view, it says what is the old value, what is the new value. And as of now, we can see we only have details when this particular record got created. So going back, we can also see the similar view in history calendar, which also tells us the date when exactly this particular record got created and if any changes. So here you can see 0 audited. As of now, we just enabled it. Before that, this particular auditing was not enabled on this particular record table. Now I'm going to go and change some of the fields on this table and we'll see if those changes are recorded. So I am changing the power and the power consumption, both fields. So let's make it to 1000 and 2000 and that I'm saving the record. Okay, so once record is saved, I can again go back to the history and check the calendar. So you can see here we have new entry which says just now we made some changes. If we expand this, it shows what all fields got changes. So we can see the power consumption. So we can see before value was 100,000 and 10,600, which got changed to 1,000 and 2,000. So this is the way how we can see any changes done to the record. So let's go back and it completes our use case 1, where any changes if we do to the table, we only need to do is we need to go to dictionary collection record and mark audit as an true. Now let's go to use case number 2, where how only the specific field can be tracked. So in this particular table, what we are going to do now is we are only going to track the changes related to the power, not to the power consumption. So what we need to do is let's populate all fields here. I'm removing the filter collection so that I can see all fields related to this particular table. Okay, now it is visible on the screen. I can see the power is here and power consumption is here. What I'm going to do is the first action is in the collection type of record, we need to mark audit as an true, as well as we need to add the attribute here. So I can double click and add it here, as well as I can go to this particular record, go to advanced and update the attribute. Okay, so what I need to add? I need to add audit type equals to whitelist. This is the first change we need to do. Second change what we need to do, the specific field that we want to put in audit, we need to add audit word here. So just add the word audit. If you make a note, I have not added the audit attribute in power consumption. I have only added it to the power. That means now power field related changes should be audited, not for power consumption. Also, you need not to make any changes in this particular audit field. Okay, now let's again go to the record and make some changes. So this is the record. So I'm making the change to both of the records. Let's make it 3000 and 4000. So as we have only enabled the auditing for power, so what changes we are doing here should only be audited, not related to the power consumption. So just now I made the changes. I made this power is 3000 and power consumption is 4000. Now let's save the record, and we can now go to the auditing part and check. So I can again see just now one change was made, and you can see only power is listed here, and changes to the power consumption is basically not listed because it's not audited. Okay, so that concludes our discussions, and so far we have covered how to turn on the audit on the table, how we can turn on the audit only for the specific field, as well as we also covered how to check the audit history before and after changes values as well. Now we can also see how we can exclude a specific field from the auditing, where we want to audit the whole table, but few specific fields which might have very heavy traffic we want to exclude. Okay, so let's go to ServiceNow. Again we need to go to dictionary, and we are now going to exclude the power, but this time we are going to include all other field changes, but any changes to the power should not be captured in auditing. So what we need to do, as I said, no underscore audit, that is the attribute we need to add, and we can remove this audit type whitelist. So because we are not whitelisting anything, we only need to ensure audit should be true in the collection type of record, and we need to add no audit to any specific field which we don't want to add. Okay, now let's go to the record and let's make some changes. So I am making change 3000 to 6000 and 4000 to 8000, and as well as let's make any change in the relationship. For that, let's save it. Let's add one more relationship here. Okay, so you can see one relationship added, as well as we made the changes to power and power consumption. Now the complete table should be audited for all changes except power, because we marked power as no audit. So let's quickly go to the audit records and capture what all changes are captured in audit. So just now two changes we did. So let's quickly have a look on the first change, where we did change to the power consumption. We also changed the power, but that is not captured because that field is not audited. And in this, we changed the relationship, so that is also captured. So that concludes our session, and all these settings are also mentioned here. Thank you.